Today we're going to take a look at 2 ways of finishing the straight ankle lock, specifically the grips. When I first learned how to do the straight ankle lock, it was with a grip that looked a lot like this. We'll take a look at that in a second, but people are now adjusting that grip and going back to an older grip, this kind of figure 4 grip. Let's talk about why they're doing that and what it looks like. So, out of any situation where we're in an ashigarami, okay, it can be an arimi, classic arimi ashigarami where we're here, we can, in a kind of classic straight ankle lock fashion, place the bone of our wrist right behind our partner's Achilles tendon. Once we do this, we can take a grip that looks a lot like a guillotine grip. Our right hand grips our own knuckles, and we draw everything up nice and high. For this, we're up on our elbow and we're focusing on pushing our chest forward. This creates a lot of tension. What it does is it puts the sharp, bony part of your wrist against your partner's, like the area where your partner's Achilles tendon is. Right? It's not like actually a lock on the tendon, it's a lock on the joint of the ankle, but the idea is the same. And then from here, we're focusing on getting into this, this position of extension. Our legs are pushing, our body's straightening, and you get a very strong finish. Okay, this is a very common way of finishing. What are the virtues of this? The virtues of this are you're using the blade of your wrist versus the flat part of your arm. Okay, so you have like the surface area is reduced, so the pressure is increased. Okay, so that's this. Alternatively, what we're seeing now more and more is people using an old school figure 4 grip, okay, that looks a lot like this. This figure 4 grip used to be very popular, like before leg locks became in vogue or there was more attention paid to them. And the reason is because this is a very, very robust grip. Okay, this grip is, it's very difficult for our partner to break it. And also it allows us to keep our elbows in relatively tight. You can see that this grip, even though it is strong, if your partner reaches up and gets a hold of this loose arm and they start to pull, they can easily separate your hands. So one of the virtues of this grip is because of the nature of the figure 4, we can keep our elbows in kind of tight. Now when he goes to pull on this, it's really a reinforced grip. My hand pushing against his leg and the second hand on top of that first hand. And so now from here we get a very strong grip. The other thing about this grip is it allows us to get a little bit deeper around our partner's ankle. So we're not using a shallow grip the way that we were previously. We're taking a deeper grip here. And when you do this, you get an ability to really compress your partner's toes. Okay, you're kind of like putting pressure on the ankle through the top of the foot. Okay, that's not really true when you're doing this kind of classic version of Achilles lock, where your hands are locked like this. Okay, so off this figure 4, we get a surprising amount of connection. 1, 2, we have a very robust grip. 3, because of the pressure that's on our partner's foot, we can really push off. And when we push off, we have the ability to really compress our partner's foot. We can fold the foot itself, and it's out of this position you're getting a very, very strong action. So in the case of our initial grip, the pressure is here, almost like a guillotine. It's right here against the back of our partner's leg, and it's isolated. When you use this deeper figure 4 grip, the tension is diffused throughout the foot. So that means that when you really lean back and you start putting pressure, not only do you get extension, but you get the feeling of the foot being crushed inside of this space. And that's very, very uncomfortable. Not only is it uncomfortable, of course, but there's finishes here. The bones of the foot, the ankle start to get under enough pressure where things will break. The other advantage of this sort of grip is it allows us to kind of maneuver, because of this good connection, allows us to maneuver between different leg configurations. So as our partner goes to defend, we have the ability to maintain pressure throughout while adjusting our legs into different positions. Okay. Finally, we often find that off of this grip, if our partner does manage to slip their heel through the space here, because of the nature of the grip, we have the ability to finish with variations of like Aoki locks, where it's not technically a straight ankle lock, in the sense of it driving back, the pressure going up this way with our pressure on our partner's foot going this way, but rather a break in this direction, a more lateral Achilles lock. Okay, so just to recap, we have, regardless of configuration, we have a grip on our partner's ankle where we have the bony part of our wrist resting against our partner's Achilles tendon. We usually use a variation of a guillotine grip, a 5-finger grip like this, to finish. Very effective, very pinpoint in terms of your accuracy and in terms of your pressure. It's a strong grip. Alternatively, we have a figure 4 grip. More pressure spread out throughout the whole foot, stronger, robust grip, harder to break. And then out of this position, you get a surprising amount of power. So there's a lot more to discuss, of course, in terms of the mechanics of the finish and then leg configurations, but this is just a fundamental way to start to differentiate between these two different types of grips. They're both great. One of them affords a little bit more tightness and connection and control. That's a figure 4. The other one allows you to have a more accurate attack on your partner's leg and also allows you to switch between heel hooks and straight ankle locks a little bit more easily, right? Hopefully this was helpful for you so you can start to understand how these things work. You can put them into your training, let us know how it goes. Leave some comments below if you have them or questions. We have some links down there also for you to check out. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.